Manchester United finally got their man when they announced Ruben Amorim as head coach in November 2024. The Portuguese manager has enjoyed a rapid rise in his short managerial career. Although we are yet to see his football style translate across to Manchester, we can look back on his time in Portugal as an indicator to the style of football that he might play. Whilst in charge of Sporting, he would adopt an aggressive 3-4-3 that would see his team try to control possession with disciplined build-up play. During his stay at Sporting, he would become a serial winner as his team would go on to lift 2 Taça de Liga trophies, and they would become champions of Portugal twice also. Ruben Amorim heads to England with a very impressive record in Portuguese football as he leaves Sporting with a win ratio of 71%. Manchester United fans will be excited to know if he can continue with this success. Welcome back into the channel. In today's tactic testing video, I'm going to take a look at a system that has been used by Ruben Amorim, the brand new Manchester United manager, during his time managing Sporting in Portugal. Today's tactic has been created by a member of the community, Tactical Genius, right here on YouTube. If you want to check out his channel and the original video that I got this tactic from, there will be a link to both in the description down below. And as always, there will be a link to the tactic that you can download for yourself in the description also. Today, I have tested his tactic using Liverpool, Brighton and Ipswich, just so you can get a grasp of how it perform in the hands of 3 very different teams. Before I jump in and show you the results though, I have a small favour to ask. I'm currently on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and if you could help me out by hitting the subscribe button, I'd be eternally grateful. Right then, let's jump into the video and show you how this tactic will get on in the hands of Liverpool, Brighton and Ipswich, and then at the end, I'll break it down for you too. To kick off the results roundup, we're going to look at the Premier League. All 3 teams feature in the same division, so we're going to break that down first. We'll then move on to look at Liverpool, Brighton and Ipswich individually to show you how they got on. So, kicking off with the Premier League, we will find that Liverpool are champions. They would win 30 times, draw 6, lose twice, have a goal difference of 73 and finish on 96 points. That would be 6 points clear of Tottenham. The second team that we tested was Brighton. We find them finishing in 4th place, qualifying for the Champions League. They would win 19, draw 12 and lose 7 times, have a goal difference of 34, and they would finish on 69 points. And whilst it's crazy that they finished 20 points below Manchester City, they would finish 7 points ahead of Arsenal. The final team that we tested was Ipswich. They would finish in 15th place. They would win 10, draw 11, lose 17, have a -7 goal difference, and they would finish on 41 points. Now that's not as bad as it actually seems, considering they're a team that were projected to be relegated. They would actually finish 10 points clear of the drop zone. Looking at some of the stats across the season then, so George Hurst would lead the way across all 3 clubs in terms of goals scored with 21. Danny Welbeck would get 17. You would have Trent, Ibou Konate and Ferdi Kadioglu in the top 5 average rated players across the season. Trent would lead the way with 19 assists. He would also lead the way with 8 Player of the Match awards, and impressively Alisson would keep 25 clean sheets using this system. Looking at the other competitions that Liverpool would play in then, we find that they would win the Champions League. They would play Real Madrid in the final and they would win 4-0. They would complete a treble by winning the FA Cup, where they would beat Fulham 3-0 in the final, and the quadruple was complete when they beat Arsenal 3-0 in the Carabao Cup final. The only thing that stopped them across the season from completing a clean sweep was that they would lose in the Charity Shield at the start of the season. Let's have a look at the data hub to just look at some of the numbers they produced then. So across the season, they would average 2.42 goals per game. They would have 17.39 shots per game, 43% shots on target ratio and an 88% pass completion ratio. Looking at the squad just to see what the numbers reveal, we can see that Mo Salah would be their top goal scorer across the season in all competitions with 24, and he would be joined by Darwin Núñez on 24. The rest of the team, Ibou Konate 21 goals, you'd have Szoboszlai on 21, McAllister on 21, Gakpo on 16, Chiesa and Van Dijk both on 14. In terms of assists, we would see 34 assists for Trent Alexander-Arnold, 30 for Dominic Szoboszlai, 21 for Robertson, 12 for McAllister 11 for Endo, and 10 for Simicas. Up next, we're going to take a look at Brighton. Now, we already know that they have finished 4th in the Premier League, but they would also be knocked out in the 3rd round by Sunderland in the FA Cup. They would be knocked out in the quarter-finals by Fulham in the Carabao Cup. If we look in the data hub, just to get a bit more detail in terms of the numbers, goals per game across the season, 1.82. They would have 13 shots per game. They would have 39% shots on target ratio and an 88% pass completion ratio. If we look at the squad to just check out some of the other numbers then, Danny Welbeck would finish the season as the top scorer on 19. Joe Pedro would get 15. Buonanotte would get 12 and Evan Ferguson would get 9. In terms of assists, they would have Kadioglu with 11, Milner also with 11 and Estupinan getting 10. Finally, let's take a look at Ipswich. Now, we know they would finish 15th in the Premier League. They would also get knocked out in the 3rd round by Northampton in the FA Cup. And they would be knocked out in the 3rd round by Sunderland in the Carabao Cup. Looking at the data hub just to see a few more numbers on the season, they would end up with 1.45 goals per game. They'd have 10.47 shots per game, a 45% shots on target ratio and an 88% pass completion ratio. Looking at the squad to see who scored what and who provided the assists, we would find George Hurst would get 21 goals on the season, Wes Burns would get 9, Connor Chaplin 8 and Liam Delap 5. Looking at the assists, we would find Burns would get 12, Davis would get 10 and it would be Connor Chaplin that would get 5. Right then, we have had a look at 3 clubs and their results. Let's break this tactic down. So the tactic is simply called Amorim's Man United. It is an attacking tactic and we're going to start off by breaking it down, looking position by position, starting off with a sweeper keeper who is set to support. You'll have a ball-playing defender that is set to defend, a libero that is set to defend, and another ball-playing defender set to defend. On the left, you'll have a wing-back set to attack, a segundo volante set to support, a ball-winning midfielder set to support, and on the right, a wing-back set to attack. You then have an attacking midfielder set to support, a shadow striker set to attack, and a pressing forward set to attack. This tactic comes with a custom clean slate tactical style, which is the preference of the creator. Its mentality is attacking. Its in possession will look like this. Its in transition will look like this. And its out of possession will look like this. So that is the tactic broken down. You've seen Liverpool win a quadruple, Brighton qualify for the Champions League. This is a tactic where you are going to rely on your defenders to stay strong, whilst your midfield really props up both defence and attack. And at the top of the pitch, you will need a lethal goal scorer who can bag you goal after goal after goal. Once again, if you want to download this tactic, there will be a link to it in the description down below. Don't forget to show the original creator plenty of love, hit the like button and subscribe to their channel. And whilst you're at it, please don't forget, I am on the road to 10k. If you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as you don't want to miss out on any of the content that will be coming up in the run-up to FM25, even though that's all the way in March. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on another video very soon.